And I think this episode is just beautiful, and it is the episode I always point to when someone goes, yeah, but he's a bad person, he's a shithead. I'm like, he gave the seeds back so that she could see. Come on, man. And told her that her brother wasn't bad. He did it just gently. But I think this episode is brilliant, not just because it is so moving because of the characters, but I've recently been very much learning the value of being calm and the value of feeling the tension in your heart and body and going, okay, how much of this is excess and how much of this do I need to function right now? And it has improved my life drastically because it is a symptom or a sign, I should say, it's not a symptom, of leaving survival mode, that you can be more aware in your body and of your emotions. And like when you go, oh, I'm at a 95%, I need to be at like a 75%. And then you get rid of, if you can dial down that tension and unwind, you go, oh, why was my neck tight? Why was my shoulders tight? You are just better at what you want to do because there isn't as much static in the way. And I think that it is really, that scene is so good because he's like, hey, you're tense, I'm not. This is what happens when you're not tense. You can actually see your own skills clearly. And that's a valuable lesson to learn, particularly if you're a competent person, because you can often fall into that competence trap where you are good at a thing or good as a person, but you get so worked up about, I need to be good, that the tension builds up and you can't even use your own abilities. And then once you go, whew, oh wow, there was like a half a breath stuck in my body I didn't know was there. Now you like see into the matrix a little bit, and you can actually use the skills that you've worked hard to develop.
Yes, that's a very poignant way to sum up the episode, and also your own personal journey with Jeet Kune Do. And I guess the true, I guess we already had a soft start. I guess the true start would be around there. Alex and our friendship started in that school because the two of us were among, I don't know if we exactly were rare, but we were among the handful of people who found each other in a way that allowed us to speak about an idea of this martial art, Jeet Kune Do, the martial art that Bruce Lee invented, as being an emotional language. By that, yes. Alex and I, when we joined that school, we weren't just joining because we wanted to learn how to fight. We wanted to learn how to be there for ourselves as individuals and possibly there for others. It was a move of empowerment. And if you know anything about any martial art, I don't care if it's Jeet Kune Do, it could be Jiu-Jitsu, Judo, Capoeira, any one of these martial arts. Every martial art that has been invented under the same principle, to empower those who feel like they cannot fight for themselves. And most of my life, I felt like that. Most of my life, I felt like I didn't have the ability to fight for myself or anyone else. A lot of it was informed by being punished whenever I wanted to stand up for myself and being too small to do anything about the people who were wrongfully punishing me, or being in a state of distress and legitimately needing help, but then nobody standing up to defend me, also when I was very young and too small to defend myself. Fighting in Jeet Kune Do has taught me that when it comes to fighting in any form, not every version of it comes naturally to you. There are some people who are natural fighters where they know how to fight with their hands or go into an argument or fight for their own personal well-being, because there's a lot of different ways that you can fight. Like, not every version of a fight involves you swinging, throwing your hands or kicking somebody. There's a lot of different kinds of fights. But for some of us, fighting is something that has to be learned. It's something that has to be taught and witnessed. And there have been many stories, and a lot of the people who have these stories that I've collected these stories from, they didn't catch this, but there have been stories that I've heard of people where they saw like their parental figure or somebody they respected doing something combative or like some kind of conflict that they engaged in the street or in front of them that they saw, and the next thought that they had as a child was, wow, that person can do that, like Miss Rachel said, my adult, like my grown-up can do that, or that, like my dad or my mom, they can do that. That means I can do that. Some of us didn't get those examples. And if some of us did get them, they were used against us, and we were often the victim of those things. And you develop a negative association with fighting for yourself. When I joined Jeet Kune Do, I was on a journey to defeat that negative association. I did not want to believe the narrative that I could not fight for myself. I didn't want to believe the narrative that I was a coward. And not necessarily that I did believe it, but I needed confirmation that these things that were haunting me were not true. And nothing in life was giving me the confirmation that I needed to say, yes, if something bad happens, I will stand up. Or at least there weren't enough examples in life to make me feel confidently about it. So I went on this journey. I joined the school. Alex, for similar reasons, he joined. Why don't you tell him, like, because I know part of the reason you joined was because of Cowboy Bebop. Could you share that a little bit?
Mm-hmm. Sure. So let me say this. So I joined a martial art, and then Bebop just sort of funneled me there because I thought it was really cool. But then I really took to it because I really vibe with the philosophy of it and the simplicity, and the easy answers is the wrong way to describe it, but the simple answers having a complexity to them, like the concision of it all speaks to how my brain works. I joined a martial art basically for the same reasons you did, that it was a way to say no more self-abandoning. Like, I'm not gonna be afraid to speak my mind. Like, before I started doing martial arts, the best way I could describe this was, I always felt like in any interaction with any person, I was like saying three things away from them trying to break my nose, and I would have no defense against that. And that doesn't mean it necessarily would, but it was always in the back of my brain, like, I wonder what innocent things I could say that this person would hate for me just existing, that I would then be under physical attack. And I was so deeply afraid of other people, particularly other men, that I was just like, I can't do this anymore. I need to, not in that way, the death wish kind of dirty Harry way, like, I need to start learning to fuck people up so I can, but I'm just like, I need to have a calm within myself that I know that just in case, I would be okay. Even if it's just to get away. And knowing that I can trust myself and take up space like any other person. Because let's say I do end up with somebody and I just very calmly exist and they hate it and they attack me. Well, I can slip and run away. Like, I don't need to, I have other options in my mind now than just the physical, it will be a death end game. And I've been threatened by people before, and it was really scary. Really scary. And I never wanted to feel that unsafe again. And like I said, I don't mean that in a macho alpha way, like, so I decided to take the reins of power and learn how to pick up the blade. Even though we do blade training, it's really cool.
Yeah, it's really
I just
fun.
meant in that way, like you were saying, the art of, like, learning to not self-abandon